Before we start the video, I do want to thank Capcom for actually giving me the game early. So, with that being said, I'm still going to be honest with my review. And just so you guys know, I actually haven't really delved into Resident Evil that much. I played Resident Evil 5 a lot. I played a bit of Resident Evil 6. And that's where I'm going to be coming from with this third person DLC, which is, in my opinion, the main selling point to this whole DLC. But without further ado, let's get into it. Story of Shadow of Rose overall, it's pretty predictable. I mean, the whole plot is Rose wants to get rid of her powers. So she goes to a world that's full of hostile enemies and she's still trying to get rid of her powers. Like, you can pretty much guess what's going to happen. So even though the story is predictable, I wanted to say that they were focusing more on the character development of Rose and her guardian angel, Michael. Even though Michael has literally no voice acting, you could still see the sass and like protectiveness through the text. The character development is what they pretty much focused on. And the story, I want to say, was kind of on the back seat, especially when it came to the ending. When you get to the ending, you'll be like, expected. So when it comes down to this DLC, the big selling point, at least in my opinion, the big selling point was the third person. When it comes down to the gameplay, the mobility, like I said, on Rose is way slower than Ethan. When it comes down to Ethan's gameplay, it's so good, like way better than even 6, just the way he moves. It's like more fluent. He actually feels like he moves better than in first person. Rose is more timid. It feels like she can't really aim and shoot, but it makes sense. I mean, I don't think she's ever picked up a gun in her life. Overall, when it comes to the atmosphere, the level designs really brings out the horror. So you do feel a little more scared. The sound effects, the tension, it's good. But it was really fun just having the ability to explore. And one of the good things that I really liked about it compared to like the main game is the puzzles pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not that difficult. I personally like it. Some people want, the puzzles to be super hard. That's just not how I personally enjoy it. Well, I had a good time when it came down to that aspect. One thing I really do like about the third person is when you play as Ethan, it is so much faster than playing as Rose, which makes sense. Rose is like younger. Like, Ethan's been kicking ass since before she was born. It makes sense why he moves a lot faster, but Rose's gameplay, just in comparison with the third person, stiff, pretty slow. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get killed at any moment because she's like jogging around the map where Ethan is like pretty much half sprinting. There's really a lot of tense moments just playing as Rose. Stuff comes out of the walls and you're just trying to escape, and it's like you have no choice but to escape because there's like insta-kill pits all around you. Either die or you escape. The mercenaries. This was like my highlight of the entire DLC expansion. And at the same time, it heavily disappointed me. Now, the only character that's unlocked right out the gate is Chris Redfield. And even though Chris Redfield's gameplay is really fun, it's just point and shoot gameplay. I really was excited to play as Lady Dimitros, but since she's not unlocked out the gate, I don't really think I can just play this one repetitive game mode enough to unlock her. It's good that I get to play as my man Chris Redfield again, but it absolutely sucks that this feels like it was an afterthought. But that's literally it. It's just you playing. There's no multiplayer. Like, I remember in Resident Evil 5 in Mercenaries, it wasn't just, it's better because it was multiplayer. It was stressful because there were several enemies coming after you. Here, there's literally an enemy counter. I know I have to kill 45 enemies. It's like the old Mercenaries was just kill as many enemies as you could while time was counting down. This Mercenaries is just, score. It's basically score attack with a time limit. And the time limit doesn't even matter because they throw all the enemies at you, and the more you kill enemies, the higher your combo is. The more your combo is, every time you get a kill, you get more time. So there's really no threat. It's literally just score attack, see if you can get a high score. And it's fun for a little bit, you're just killing stuff. It's nothing crazy, but at the same time, there's no skill in it whatsoever. There's no multiplayer. The only thing that makes you come back to playing Mercenaries is the ability to play as new characters, but even then, that'll run old. And then what else do you have? What, a leaderboard? Who has the highest score? Who runs the fastest? That's literally it. The only thing that makes it different is Ethan's gameplay is better than Rose's. So if you enjoyed Resident Evil 8 already, then you might like it a little bit more. Like if you like third person more than first person, then yeah, you'll love the game more because now it's in third person. But there's no big gripe I could really say about third person. Like the only glitches I ever experienced is like since it was made for first person, sometimes if you like move fast and you look to the left too fast, you get texture pop in. All the cutscenes are still in first person, unfortunately, so that was a big missed opportunity. You're walking around in third person, you go into a cutscene and it yanks you in the first person mode. Nothing special, nothing crazy. And when the cutscene ends, it just puts you back in third person. So it's jarring. I wish they would have just put the cutscenes in third person as well. Regardless of how crazy it would have looked, at least it would have been there. It would have been decent. So with all that being said, if this is if third person was the reason why you didn't buy Resident Evil 8, I'd say go ahead, but don't really expect the third person to really sell the game. If you already bought the game and you enjoyed it and you're like, "Oh, maybe I should buy this DLC," how's the Rose story, how's the mercenaries, how's the third person overall? It's $20. So with the $20 price tag for DLC of a game you already enjoyed, I'd say just go ahead and get it. Like if I was going to give it a score, I'd probably just give it an 8 out of 10 because it's $20. $20, you get a 3-hour story and you get to play the main game again in third person. But it's $20. So $20, that's fine. In the gaming culture nowadays, something like this with any other developer would have been a $40 sale. And I would have been like, no, it's not worth $40. No, like not even. But since it's $20, I mean, it's fine. 8 out of 10. It's literally the same game you already enjoyed. But if you're trying to buy this for the first time, I'd say get it at a discount because overall it'd be $50. Instead of $50, wait for it to go on sale, get it for like $29.99. Like they do Resident Evil sales on PlayStation Store pretty frequently. Just wait for it all to come down to like $30, $40 for the gold edition. I'd say pick it up. If you buy it for $50, if I was gonna give it a score, probably give it a 7 because it's still Resident Evil 8. If this is your type of game, you're going to enjoy it regardless if it's in third person or first person. Thank you again, Capcom, for giving me the game early. Thank you for letting me review the game early. This is Mr. R from Gamers Little Playground. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.